Magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2 are hands down some of the most important nutrients for seniors' health. They support strong bones, a healthy heart, better sleep, improved immunity, and even brain function. And thankfully, more and more seniors are starting to recognize how powerful this supplement combination can be. But here's the problem. Because these supplements have become so widely used and recommended, many people are now making critical mistakes without even realizing it. And these aren't harmless errors. Some of them can lead to dangerous drops in blood pressure, kidney stress, heart palpitations, or even stroke risk, especially when taken the wrong way or in the wrong combinations. In this video, we're going to break down 7 of the most common and dangerous mistakes seniors make when taking magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2. Mistakes that we have not covered before. More importantly, we'll show you exactly how to avoid them, so you can get the full health benefits safely. But before we start, please take a second to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps this video reach more people who need it, especially seniors who could benefit from this life-changing information. Now let's get into it. 1. Not getting the quantity you think you're getting. Now what exactly do we mean by this? What we mean is that many seniors don't pay close attention to supplement quality or consistency. They switch between brands, mix different products, and assume that the numbers on the label always match what they're actually getting. But here's the truth. Not all supplement brands are created equal. Some over-deliver, others under-deliver, and a surprising number don't even contain what they claim. And that can lead to serious health problems, especially when you're relying on magnesium, D3, and K2 to correct a deficiency or support your heart and bones. Let me give you an example. One senior was doing the right thing, getting his vitamin D3 and K2 from a reputable brand, clearly labeled and well-reviewed, but his magnesium glycinate came from a random, less trustworthy brand. The label on the bottle boldly said 400 milligrams of magnesium, so he thought he was covered. What he didn't realize? That 400 milligrams was the total amount of magnesium glycinate compound, not actual elemental magnesium. When tested, he was only getting around 23 milligrams of absorbable, chelated magnesium, barely enough to support even the most basic vitamin D3 activation in the body. So, while he thought he was taking enough magnesium to support his vitamin D3, in reality he was unknowingly staying deficient. This is dangerous because your body needs magnesium to activate vitamin D3. Without enough magnesium, your D3 levels may not rise, even if you're taking high doses, and that can keep you stuck in deficiency with all the risks that come with it: bone loss, poor immunity, fatigue, and more. And it's not just about magnesium. Some people take vitamin D3 and K2 separately, which is fine in theory. But if your K2 brand underdelivers, you're setting yourself up for calcium buildup in the wrong places, like arteries instead of bones. The takeaway: stick with a single reputable brand for all 3 supplements, magnesium, D3, and K2, so you can trust the quality, the dosing, and the absorption. Because when you're dealing with nutrients that work together, underdelivery in one can throw off the entire system. This one mistake could be the reason you're not seeing results. 2. Taking magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 and forgetting potassium. When most people start supplementing with magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2, they often believe they're covering all their bases. And while these 3 are incredibly important, especially for seniors, there's one critical mineral that's almost always forgotten: potassium. This might not seem like a big deal at first, but here's why it matters. Your body's electrical system, everything from your heartbeat to how your muscles contract and your nerves communicate, relies on a delicate balance between magnesium, calcium, sodium, and potassium. Leave one of these out, and the entire system can fall out of sync. Now, here's the problem. Magnesium, while essential, can actually push potassium levels down inside your cells when taken in high doses. That means if you're taking magnesium every day, but your diet is low in potassium-rich foods, you could unknowingly be creating an imbalance. Some people experience strange side effects like muscle cramps, leg twitching, weakness, or fatigue that doesn't make sense. Others feel the exact opposite of what they expected, more anxious or jittery after starting magnesium. And while that may seem confusing at first, it starts to make sense when you realize that magnesium only works properly when potassium levels are sufficient. Let's take a typical situation. Someone is vitamin D deficient. They start supplementing with D3 and K2, and they've wisely added magnesium to help activate that D3 in the body. But they're not eating enough potassium-rich foods like avocados, bananas, coconut water, sweet potatoes, or cooked spinach. The result? They're giving their body three powerful tools to rebuild health, but missing the fourth tool that holds everything together. This imbalance doesn't always show up on blood tests right away, but the body still responds with tension, poor sleep, heart flutters, or sudden dips in energy. And many seniors mistakenly assume it's just aging, medication side effects, or stress, when in reality it could be the quiet voice of potassium deficiency asking for attention. The good news is that you don't necessarily need a potassium supplement. In most cases, simply eating more potassium-rich whole foods is enough to restore balance, but it's a step that far too many overlook when focusing solely on D3, K2, and magnesium. 3. Taking vitamin D3 and K2 with the wrong form of magnesium. One of the most overlooked mistakes people make, especially seniors, is combining vitamin D3 and K2 with the wrong type of magnesium, often without even realizing it. The most common example, using magnesium citrate or magnesium oxide. Now at first glance these forms may seem fine. They're cheap, they're easy to find, and they're in a lot of over-the-counter products. But when it comes to effectiveness and safety, especially in seniors, they can actually cause more harm than good. Let's start with magnesium citrate. While it's slightly more absorbable than magnesium oxide, it still has lower bioavailability compared to better forms like magnesium glycinate. Magnesium citrate is also osmotic, meaning it draws water into the intestines, and that's why many people experience loose stools or even full-blown diarrhea when taking it. Now here's the dangerous part. That diarrhea doesn't just cause inconvenience, it actually strips your body of vital electrolytes. Each trip to the bathroom is a quiet loss of potassium, sodium, and even magnesium itself. Over time, this creates an imbalance that can trigger muscle cramps, heart palpitations, fatigue, weakness, and even low blood pressure. Magnesium oxide is even worse. It's poorly absorbed, with bioavailability often as low as 4%, meaning almost none of it reaches your cells. So, while you might think you're taking 400 milligrams of magnesium, your body may only be absorbing a tiny fraction of that, and still suffering the digestive side effects. 4. Sticking to the RDA for vitamin D3 and thinking it's enough. This next mistake is incredibly common, and potentially dangerous. Many seniors still believe that following the recommended dietary allowance for vitamin D is enough to maintain good health, typically around 400 to 600 IU per day. But here's the truth, for most older adults, that's nowhere near sufficient. A large percentage of seniors are already chronically low in vitamin D without even realizing it. Between aging skin that doesn't produce vitamin D as efficiently and a sedentary indoor lifestyle that limits sun exposure, it's no wonder that deficiency is so widespread. You might think taking a small RDA dose daily is doing the job. But according to multiple studies, these low doses are often about as effective as taking nothing at all, especially if your levels are already depleted. In fact, many researchers now agree that most seniors require between 5,000 and 10,000 IU per day, depending on their current blood levels, body weight, and sun exposure. And this isn't about megadosing for no reason. It's about maintaining optimal levels that protect your bones, immune system, brain, and heart. But here's the key. High-dose D3 should never be taken alone. When you take vitamin D3 without pairing it with vitamin K2, you increase the risk of calcium going to the wrong places, like your arteries or kidneys, rather than your bones. That's why experts recommend taking 50 to 100 mcg of vitamin K2, ideally in the MK7 form, alongside your daily vitamin D. 5. Underestimating the importance of cofactors like zinc and boron. A lot of people focus heavily on the big three: magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2, and while that's a powerful combination, there's a critical piece that's often missing from the conversation. The cofactors. Specifically, zinc and boron. These may sound like minor trace minerals, but don't let that fool you. Without them, the other nutrients you're taking may not work the way you expect. Let's start with zinc. Zinc plays a key role in immune health, hormone balance, and vitamin D activation. But what many people don't realize is that a severe zinc deficiency can lead to something called leaky gut, a condition where the lining of your intestines becomes too porous, allowing undigested food particles and toxins to leak into your bloodstream. This creates systemic inflammation, weakens your immune system, and disrupts nutrient absorption. So imagine this. You're faithfully taking magnesium, D3, and K2 every day. You're doing everything right. But your gut is compromised because you're low in zinc, meaning your body can't even absorb or utilize those nutrients properly. It's like pouring water into a cracked bucket. Zinc deficiency is also shockingly common among seniors. Then there's boron. a lesser-known but equally important mineral. Boron helps your body hold on to magnesium, supports bone strength, and enhances vitamin D3's effectiveness at the cellular level. Without boron, you may be losing magnesium faster than you're taking it in, especially if you're under stress or have kidney issues. 6. Not cutting out foods that deplete magnesium. This final mistake is one that most people never think about, even those who are faithfully taking their magnesium supplements every day. It's the mistake of continuing to eat foods that quietly deplete your magnesium without even realizing it. And here's the surprising truth. It's not just junk food or processed sugar that's the problem. Even so-called healthy carbs like oatmeal, whole wheat bread, brown rice, and cereals can drain your body's magnesium stores if you're already borderline deficient. And that includes most seniors. 7. Not going for periodic checkups. One of the most dangerous mistakes seniors make when taking magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 is not going for regular medical checkups. And this isn't just about routine blood pressure or cholesterol checks. It's about understanding how your kidney function is doing, because your kidneys play a huge role in whether these supplements help your body or harm it. See, the kidneys aren't just waste filters. They regulate how much magnesium and calcium your body retains. They help maintain the delicate balance of minerals in your blood, and they determine how much vitamin D3 your body can safely process. If your kidneys are underperforming, even slightly, it changes everything. What might be a safe dose of magnesium or D3 for someone else could be too much for you simply because your kidneys aren't clearing out the excess. The most alarming part is that kidney changes often show up without any obvious symptoms. You might feel fine, no pain, no swelling, no warning signs. But behind the scenes, your kidneys could be working at 60%, 40%, or even lower, and you wouldn't know it until damage has already been done. It often starts with subtle fatigue, dry or itchy skin, muscle weakness, or slightly puffy ankles, but many seniors write those things off as just getting older. Now you know, taking magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 can be life-changing, but only if you do it right. These nutrients are powerful, especially for seniors, but as you've seen, just one mistake, like using the wrong form of magnesium, ignoring potassium, or relying on outdated RDA doses, can silently sabotage your efforts. If any of these 7 mistakes surprised you, let us know in the comments. Which one have you been making without realizing it? Or do you have a personal story to share about your experience with these supplements? We read every comment, and we're building a community here of people who are taking their health seriously. The smart way. If you found this video helpful, please like it, share it with someone you care about, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you never miss new science-backed tips designed especially for seniors. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.